light shining individually, collectively transforming community, peace in our human family.
One love, one growth, as above, so below. Feel the pain in my soul, the red pill dissolved. Organized, no matter the cost. Politicians start wars, they don't fight, they sit in the port. And nothing lasts forever as long as we stay together. Give hell to the masses, watch the unity rapture. This is for the kids and the culture. It's one love, one growth, one light, light warriors. Hello everyone, my name is Jamar Jabari, and welcome to another episode for VOC of Jabari Podcast. And I have a special guest, Juanita, with me, the CEO and founder of Culture AF, Culture as Fuck. But you can't say the other part. So AF, right? That's what you usually say, right? Like,
that's usually what I say.
Yeah.
Depending on where I'm at.
I love how you told me how you figured out like the day before and stuff like that. It's like dope and everything. You can't believe something like that is thriving right now. Like you can make any name, just whatever.
Right.
But, thank you so much for coming.
Of course, thank you.
It's right now. It's Pride Month. Happy Pride Month, and everybody. Like
we out here.
Right. I love June. The energy is so nice. It's so vibing. It's always nice outside, stuff like that.
Right.
You don't have to really worry about like, oh, was it going to be cold? Because New England and winter.
Definitely, I'm a summer person, so I'm always excited when it starts getting warmer, where there's sunshine. Like this is my time of year.
Yeah, definitely, and a lot of events, a lot of things are going on. Did you see? Just remind me. Did you ever see the military commercial? Was it? I think it was like an ad where it was like, I have two moms.
I don't think so.
Or it was like, I have two dads. Like basically, like my parents are lesbian or my parents are gay.
A military ad?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I remember that.
Told me about that. I was like, what?
Right. No, I feel like I would remember that.
Oh man. I was like, that can't be true because like, you can't be sitting here saying, oh, now we want to represent this community when you just
that part.
I was just so shocked. I didn't know what to do about that, but I hope it's not out there. It's out there like as people say it is, because like only two people talking about that. I was like, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, no. So it's a new ad.
Yeah, it's a new ad. I guess the Rainbow Coalition of bombs are going to be dropped all around the world really soon.
Well, it's June, so they'll go back in the closet after the month's over.
Right. Oh man, it was a little scary, but
yeah. So
I was reading your bio, and I have a list of questions here. I usually don't do this for podcasts, but I feel like I had to get some questions through.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, so I like you. You're not the same age as me, right? Like you're older than me, or
I'm turning 29.
We're the same age. All right, perfect. So, what I was going to say is like, so you have been like doing a lot of. I saw it in your bio that you do a lot of grassroots in the past, and I was curious, what kind of grassroots did you get into?
Yeah, so like a lot of the arts programming and work that I do, I consider to be grassroots stuff. So meaning I'm working a lot at the community level, a lot of times without funding, or we're just figuring out a way to like put things together ourselves. And so like that's why I consider a lot of the work that I do grassroots in terms of the community organizing, community programming. That's where a lot of my focus and my work takes place. So, I started a few years ago. I was working with a nonprofit arts organization, and that's sort of how I got into really this arts world. in doing what I'm doing here. I like took this job, and like I didn't really know anything about working at a gallery at the time. But I was like, well, I love arts. This should be fun. But it's really where I kind of like fell in love with. And then coming back into New London, you know, where I'm born and raised and grew up in, I really wanted to do programming that was going to like really impact my community and be for my people here in my community in New London. And so like that's what I'm always thinking about when I'm like doing programs or doing my work. Is like, is this, how is my community gonna love this? Like how can I support my community in what I'm doing? So yeah.
Okay, word. That's dope. Because like I was very interested because I knew first of all I already knew that you know how to basically like give a definition of what grassroots really is, and
Mhm.
that was the perfect way of explaining it, and also like just get an understanding of like because that's just dope. That's dope because it's like art and music all together and
Yes.
all types of like visual things, which is what keeps our community thriving. I mean, they love it so much that our art and music is just like the most commodified in the world and stuff like right now. So
Facts. Yep.
so in art galleries, definitely like I've seen from example in New Haven as well too, like how art galleries are so like those type of art galleries connect to the movement where you have people from all different struggles like express their art and come through and all these ties. Um,
Right.
that's really dope because and it's also another way of like fighting.
Absolutely. That's sort of where like my interest in art. So like my background at UConn, I studied digital media, but I also have a minor in human rights. And so like my area of study, what I was trying to like focus on was like, how can I use digital media as a tool for advocacy and human rights? And like, so that's kind of what I was like focusing on when I was in my undergrad.
Did they do like teach-ins there? We were
Not really. Not really. There wasn't really like a path for it at the
Mhm.
time. I kind of was just like trying to like throw some classes together and like figure it out. Threw together some like internships for myself at the time, and yeah.
And what made you want to come back to New London to continue?
So one, I was still like living in New London and then commuting up to stores and working.
Hmm.
And so I was like, one, I want to be just closer back to where I'm like physically living to do my work.
Right.
And then two, it's just something I saw that I felt was needed here.
Hmm.
And then particularly after working with that art gallery that I was working with before, I really saw like a gap in arts that were for Black people in New London and Black queer people in New London. There wasn't really and still isn't a space for the outside of cultured. And so I saw that gap, and that's something that I wanted to fill. I wanted to do programming that was for us, something for my people, my friends, my family to come out and enjoy. And that's really what started Cultured. And I was like, well, I love going to art shows and doing these kind of things. Like I want to share that, you know, with my people and have
Right.
something like that here.
Right. Right. That's interesting because like when you're mentioning about how there's like just bringing the culture there. Um, New London is like like almost towards Rhode Island,
Mhm.
and a lot of there's not like that much information about like how New London culture is and how New London is. Is so you have the only do you have the only black business downtown?
No, no, not the only Black business. So New London is actually has a very diverse population.
Right.
And so
See, I
that's why
didn't
it's
know.
like, but there's no art spaces
Yeah.
for us. So yeah, there we weren't meeting the needs of our actual like diverse population. There's a
Right.
bunch of other Black businesses though that have
Okay, that's
been
dope. Yeah.
thriving the last few years, which has been awesome.
And that's it's considered a city. New London's a city, right?
Yes,
Me
technically it's a city. It's a
as
small
a
city, but it's a city.
as a Connecticut, I should already know this, but there's too many towns and
There's
cities
a
in this.
right, especially like the little small towns that like,
Yeah.
You ain't never heard of. I feel like I'm always still learning. Like there's a town I've never heard of in Connecticut. I'm like, oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that was here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just kind of kind of gets on my nerves. I'm like, this state is not even that big, yo.
Right.
That's just like my inner thoughts. And so okay, so knowing this culture, um so the elements of just having a safe space, which is so important. That's definitely just thinking about safe space sidebars, like that's such a part of our culture just growing
Right.
up as black people. Like we always had that aunt, or we knew somebody, one of our friends. For me, it was my friend, grandmother Nana, who always went to every time I was
Mm,
mad about something, like that type of mutual aid. Like that's a part of our culture. So I feel like that's definitely something that, like, an element that you have brought into downtown London.
yeah,
And
absolutely. I hope so. I hope people feel that way.
that's why I call it the New London Squad. That's out to the squad, like, and all the artists that and stuff that. So is it like a? Do you have like a collective? Is it? Do you have like a label, or? Because I noticed that you have like
Not
artists.
yet. So I
Mhm.
have two other people that, generally I work with that's on my team, Erica and Josh.
Mhm.
But as far as a collective, there is something that I'm working on and planning. We have like a group of artists that we sort of like work with regularly from, all over. Some other artists I really just enjoy the work and support. So a cultured collective may be coming soon. I don't want to give too much away, but that's something that's always been like in the plans. Because like
Yeah.
you, Jabari, other people, like y'all are like our go-tos, always down to like collaborate and work with. And I have projects where I want to work with more artists and do different things with. So yeah, definitely a collective is
Right.
coming.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope because I noticed how you had like the setup, and then the videos that I saw was shot there. And I was like, oh wow, like is she also like promoting or like having like artists under her or stuff like that? What's going on? Like it's a lot, like a lot of hacks.
Yes, yes.
It's amazing though. It's awesome. Yeah, that's the kind of energy, like that's an energy that can definitely like inspire a lot of people. I've had Erica uh, headline for my open mics a few times, and
Yeah.
so much people loved her. They love her a lot, um, and it was. I love asking an urban nerd to come through and stuff like that. Like I love. I feel like you guys are just like mad cool, mad chill, and it's so dope. It's so dope to like be able to like have like to know people like y'all and stuff like that, that understand. Especially for me, like I felt like I I didn't have too many like artist friends at first and
Right.
everything. And I was like, I don't think because I come from a family where everybody's like, yo, you gonna get the business degree? Business degree?
Right.
That's you? That's you right there? No, 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 no. Doctor, dentist? No. What do you want to do? Write songs? What?
Right. Right. Like all I
Hell
want
no.
to do is be able to like make art and music with my friends. That's it.
Right. Why the hell? Why the
And that
hell
should be
not?
enough.
That should be.
Right.
That's work.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Uh,
it's like
uh,
people like you're consuming art all the time. People are always consuming art, but then don't see the value in people wanting to be artists.
mhm.
And it's like
Yeah.
how y'all think y'all gonna get the music you're listening to on Spotify? How you think you're gonna get the clothing that you're wearing? Like all of this stuff. Like we're always, are consuming art, but then don't see the value in artists, and it's
Yeah.
crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And you see people like taking people's songs and like using it for videos or something like that without even asking them, or
Hmm.
like that's some stuff right there. And it just shows, it's just like, bro, like, oh, so you just bootlegged it, that's fine. Like I get it if he's like rich and famous, he already got it, but like, come on, man, like you still
Right.
people stealing people's songs, and people stealing people poems, they go spit it out another poetry slam.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Do you know someone that did that?
Oh yeah. two two
That's
people.
crazy.
Two people. Yeah. That damn narcissism. It's like, oh, it looks good. It fits me. I gotta do it. No.
That's
But
crazy.
that was like my poetry days, like which is kind of short lived, honestly, because it was a teenager and I was trying to go do it professionally and join the Knicks poetry
Mm.
tryouts team and stuff like that. It was tryouts. I didn't make it in the Connecticut team either. I almost made it to the Connecticut team, but these white boys from Wyndham, still to this day, I'm still friends with one of them, Ben Benefit. He's a rapper, but like they came down spitting hard too, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" I got taken aback. I had to adjust. That's what, yeah, that was fun. But like back to what my thought. I was like, people. I agree. People take art for granted a lot,
Mhm.
and at the nonprofit I work for, we try to make sure that we pay artists, like
Right.
even if it's not like $100 or like 50, 70. Like we
Something.
try,
Right.
and then I try to get them back so we can give them more and stuff like that. But like just making sure that incentive, because I really understand when people talk about is volunteer time, but like in an economy and in a system like this, when you're like doing something for like a charity or something, like at least give $50
Absolutely.
on their way coming back or something like.
Right.
And because you don't want to like burn them out. And what they do is people like give them to do it for free. So it's just I try a little bit. Um, Even when the funds are low, stuff like that, and like, oh, well, you do it, but hey, reveal too much. Anyway, because arts is our revolution. Honestly, that's what I was wanting to get to right there. Arts being our revolution, especially for people of color, and the fact that
Exactly.
like you're able to keep that type of community in London says a lot. There should be more of those around. Should be a lot
Yes,
more.
there should be.
Yeah, should be more of those. Are
Yeah.
you going to make like a store? Like, are you going to have like a clothing store?
So in our space now, we do have a boutique, and
Right,
so have a limited amount of like custom stuff that I do there, and then everything else is online on our website.
right, right.
And then I have some other artists that are like that have their stuff in the boutique as well.
Oh wow, nice. 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 Yeah. And also you have like you're doing events, your events where talk your shit. Was that like the first original like because that the first original open mics that you started with your business, or you were starting
Yeah,
before
that was
open
yeah,
mics?
that's our first like real main like staple event that we did and continue to do. And I'm happy that people are still resonating with it, still rocking with it. So I'm good.
Yeah, that's dope. How what is this? Give I need advice on that. Like, how do you do it?
How do
How do you do it with getting that going? Because the hours and then working with your business, and then like how do you do it? Like how do you get that going? Like the origins of talk your shit.
So, for me, I work under the model of getting one paid feature. So all of my features for Talk Your Shit are always paid. And those are people, curated that, I pick. I think having one main feature really draws people in. For me, they usually bring with their crew of people, and then people are always excited for a feature. And then I usually try and have like music to open up. So that way you're at least like getting some music performer on stage. That kind of gives a little different element. And then before we get into like the poetry, and then I always end with the open mic. And then in my head, people usually are waiting to get onto the open mic. So they're going to stay to the end
Right.
and wait for the open mic. And so like I usually work in that formula in terms of like how I actually set up the event. Having a really dynamic host is always super important. So shout out to Josh, because I sort of like threw him into that role. I used to host the events and I think I did okay, but Josh has really grown in that role. And like, so seeing him from like when we first started and me being like, you just like read the open mic names, like go ahead. And then by the next couple, he was like fully hosting the whole thing. And so like, I think he adds a lot of energy, really gets the crowd excited and keeps everyone, really entertained throughout the whole thing. And then I think it's just really like just having a great team of people around that really just keeps the energy high, making people feel at home, feel comfortable. I really love it when there's people that sign up for the open mic and it's their first time. And they're like, I've never shared anything before. And so the fact that people feel comfortable enough to share means that always tells me that we did a good job. And I love that. So yeah, I just like last Friday's Talk Your Shit was probably one of my favorites. We had some like really seasoned heavy hitters there, but then we had new people and like the energy was just crazy. There was so much talent on the open mic and everyone was just showing love. And that's really all it's about. And the encouragement and being able to support other people and sharing their art, because it's a hard thing to do with in a room full of strangers. So I don't know, we've seemed to get the formula down and it's been working, and I always appreciate people's support.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, because like a lot of people would say like in this area, a lot of open mics don't like last or like survive, but the energy shows, and it's a welcoming space of everyone, no matter what their backgrounds are or where they come from, and just that spiritual poetry, that spirit of poetry is just so strong. Like you could just go in, and have a very awful day, and then you get out, and you go into this poetry, and you hear all these people from all over, like,
right, right.
So many perspectives, so many different. I don't know how anyone can sit through that and not feel something like
right.
just relating to whatever you're dealing with in your life and stuff, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's so much like, and I started off with Talk Your Shit as one of our like first events. Was because of my experience in college with this group called Poetic Release, that all my friends, actually two of my really main friends were the founders of it, and all of my other friends in my community were poets. And part of this organization, I was the only person that really didn't consider themselves a poet, but I hung out with all the poets. And so just that community was just really special to me, and I loved open mics. I loved the poetry slams. I missed it so much that I'm like, I need to bring that culture back, or at least bring it alive here in London. So I'm glad that we've gotten to do that. So Talk Your Shit has always been really close to my heart for that reason. I love the poetry community.
Yeah. How do you how do you market it? Like, because I know that funds are a thing, so you have to like be able to like stay afloat. That's just the only way. So like, is it like part of your business, or do you you do have cover charges, right, and everything?
Yep.
And
yeah, so
I saw that before, and it's like, how do you like market that out to get people to come in? You know what I mean? Like, I think I just made that question so much more complicated
no, it's all good. I actually don't do a crazy ton for that event, but really Facebook ads, when I want to boost them up, is usually really pretty helpful. And then a lot of it, honestly, I think is word of mouth, where a lot of it gets in personal invites. So we try and make sure that we like reach out to like people who've come back, who come to the before, let them know that the next one is up and it's coming. I need to do better with my email blast, but I don't know why. Putting together newsletters is so annoying to me, but that's also a really big help. I got to do better with that. And I think Facebook ads help a lot for me as well.
Oh, word. Okay, so yeah, that's dope.
And word of
Because
mouth.
like, word of mouth is so important as well too. Like, there's so many ways, and I've seen people like freaking like spend so much money just to make it look all pretty, and then they don't
Yeah.
really have like a plan. It's like, and you're like, oh, this is too much. I'm calling all these numbers. It was like, all right. Remember that time when you told me that I spent too much time at my job? That this is why. Just go all up in people's messages.
Right.
Hey.
Josh is really good at that. He's the people person that like is gonna get it out to everybody. So yeah.
Oh my god! Like it's just real. That's you got to do that.
You
Got to
do,
do that.
and people appreciate it too.
Yeah, and I gotta get back. I gotta get over there. I want to
Yes.
go.
Well, you're gonna be down for the 19th, right?
Yes.
Yes. For our Juneteenth market, for the Dream Market, excited to have you down. Drumming, it's gonna be good.
Oh, okay. And what time? What time was it again? It was during the day, right?
4 to 7.
Oh, 47. Got you.
Yeah.
Last time, no, was that Kwanzaa?
Kwanzaa.
I met you. Yeah, I met you on Kwanzaa. Yeah.
Yep.
That was dope.
That was a really
And
good.
who was the sister that had the Pan African flag? I was like, oh,
yeah. She'll be there at the Juneteenth event too.
Got it. I was excited and nervous as hell because I didn't know anybody. But
You were great though.
And so this will be. Did I lose you?
No, I'm still here. Can you?
Oh, okay. And this will be like your second annual Juneteenth event, or
No, this is actually our first one. We didn't end up. Well, last year was COVID, and then the first year. Last year was COVID, and then 2019 I wasn't really like ready to do one yet at that time. We were like just kicking off with like cultured and getting our space and everything. So this will be the first one.
And how's it been, like, you know, with everything with COVID? Was it a struggle trying to stay open?
So we ended up closing our first space right when like the quarantine was happening. So that actually like worked out well because our just lease was ending. So that gave me an opportunity to get out of it without having to like get into the red. So that was good. And then, a few months went by and I was trying to like figure it out. We were doing virtual programming, getting into that whole space, but I still really wanted to like get another space again. Like I loved our first Cultured Studios, and I was like, I don't want to run Cultured without a space. So we ended up, starting to look for other spaces in London. We were in another space temporarily and then moved again to the location that we're in now. And so it's really cool. We've been able to sort of like, we're just getting back into it now with things opening up a little bit more, being able to do events and things because that was our main, source of income. Before the pandemic was events. That's what brings people into the space to see the artwork. I'm really excited that we had our first, art show in the new space, and it did really well in terms of like being able to sell work. So that's always really cool. And a part of culture that doesn't get talked about a lot, but like, yeah, we are an art gallery. We sell art. So like, and that's always like the most difficult part of the business, right? But so like having that show and like having people actually like buying the art was really cool. And so we're getting our second show coming up featuring Marshawn Art, Candace. They're going to be doing their first solo show. And it's going to be at Culture. So I'm really excited for that because I've always been a big fan of Marshawn. So that's going to be really cool.
Right. That's awesome. And I can't imagine it had to be scary, you know?
Yeah.
Just,
there was definitely times where I'm like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. Like, I'm tired of the virtual stuff. Josh is definitely was like the one that kept me encouraged to get through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to like the rest of the year and like what we're gonna do and what it's gonna look like. So
that virtual stuff pissed me off too. I'm so happy the last open mic I did, like I told him like this is it, no more.
Yeah.
No more. Like it was just so annoying. And sometimes you just can't have like the full capacity of the control that you would like to give when doing an event like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes there'll be people coming out. That was my anxiety. Right
no, I feel you on that. We had one last year, and it was like the biggest one that we had. It was on Zoom, and I think we had like that might have been one of the ones we had like 50 people in it or something, which was crazy.
I think I was in that.
Yeah, the one that got Zoom bombed. I mean, that was the one and only time it happened, but that gave me so much anxiety. I was so pissed. They were like showing porn on the screen.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it was crazy. So like we had to like shut it down, and then we restarted it back up, and it was fine. But yeah, so like since then, especially since that one, like the virtual programs always gave me a lot of anxiety because I'm like, I don't know who the hell is going to pop up in here.
You don't, and that's the crazy part, especially when there's drama going on, and like you're like, I hope this person's mature enough. Like,
right.
I hope they're not gonna do that, and just all this hatefulness that you hear is just people will find anything to do just to be ruthless in a way.
Yeah.
Like human nature. Like my cats don't do that. I like my cats. They would never do anything like that. Right, Ben? We sleep. But that, like seriously, like it's so stupid. And you know, I do a lot of trans events. So that's when the anxiety is like to the roof.
Even higher.
Just like I hope some fucking asshole does not come on here and start saying shit.
Yeah.
Like, but we're getting back to normal, which was never normal.
Right.
But no, we're going back to normal.
At least you share space with people, like actual space.
Yeah, actual space, yes. God.
Speaking of
that fucker's trying to run again.
Really?
Trump, yeah. Like an asshole. He's gonna run again. Like
of course he
whatever.
Is.
Go ahead. Like I don't know. But I hope we learned something. I hope everyone learned something. That's the positivity. But I don't think the oligarchs learned anything.
No.
Especially with, you know, the homie that's up in New York that everybody was like congratulating until they just found out like, oh, this is too much and stuff like that. This something like that. What's his? I think his name is Cuomo.
Yeah, something like that.
But I don't know. But I just hope that it gets better. But I know that the strain might get even more stronger. It might be a second one or third one. Then it's helping everybody gets vaccinated. A lot of slack on vaccines. And I got into a few arguments, and I felt bad. I was like, I understand why you care about it, but I don't know. It's just a lot. It's a lot. I'm glad that culture survived. I'm glad that you guys
we did. We got through.
That's the good part. because God, man, we need to have that. We need to have that, and there's so much more that needs to go on in Connecticut. But I feel like that type of community sense can thrive in Connecticut. In Bridgeport with Cuba kickbacks and everything.
Right. I'm excited for those to get started again.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I want to jam. You ever play the instrument or anything?
So the wonderful Sammy Chiba has let me borrow a guitar, and so I'm trying to practice, but I am so musically illiterate. But I'm trying, but I'm definitely gonna have to like get those lessons started with Chiba. I'm trying to like just do some stuff on my own, but
yeah,
we'll see. But he'll be down here soon too for an event, so
yeah.
Maybe I'll schedule a little time for him to.
This guy, man, him and his guitars. He just be giving out guitars. I see.
Word. I'm like, you just gonna leave this here? He's like, yeah, I have a bunch of them. Just. But then I'm like, also it's nice because when he comes to do an event, at least like we'll have a guitar here at the studio, and amp and everything. So like he won't have to like travel with it on the train unless he wants to bring a different one. But
that was train?
Cool. Yeah, there's a train that goes right to New London.
I can just take the train.
Yeah, you just take the train. You just have to if you're coming from like you're in New Haven, right?
Yeah, I'm in New Haven.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. You can take it right. Yeah, you don't even have to switch over. You can take the Shoreline East right to New London, or if you have a couple extra dollars, the Amtrak, which is only like $20, 20 or 25, right to New London.
Oh, okay.
But it's faster than Shoreline East. So.
All right, yeah, I think that solved the problem there.
Yeah. Yep.
I never been on those Amtraks. I heard they're really nice. I think it's freaking weird that like we use them for local. Like, aren't they travel? Like we use them for the local. They're like,
right. It's so funny when I get on them. They're like, "Oh, you're only going to New Haven." I'm like, "Yep, that's it. I'm not going anywhere too far."
Yeah, the Rebel system's pretty messed up here. Like they don't know where to do with everything. It's like mad different companies in between and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't know. How did you have to take trains or anything, or you just always knew how to drive? Like,
I don't drive because it gives me anxiety. Something I'm like trying to get over. So like I've always just been like, I'll hop on the train. My family is from New York. So I would hop on the train and go to New York, and things like that. So I've always just been very comfortable with that. And as a non-driver, you have to find other ways to get around. So yeah.
New York's mad different, man. Like I remember the first time, like I got lost and I tried to do that. I was lost. And I ended up in Brooklyn, and I was like, "Oh well, my family's here.
Yeah,
let me call one of them."
Right.
Where's the payphone? Can you use your cell phone, sir?
All right.
Well, Juanita, I don't want to take up any more of your time.
Oh, no problem at all. I'm so happy that we could talk a little bit.
Yeah, this is freaking dope. Yeah. Do you have any pride events that are going on?
So it's still, it's still in the works, but I want to have a cabaret at the end of the month. I already got our host confirmed. I won't give it away yet. I have some other artists in the lineup, queer artists in that I just have to confirm with them. So hopefully by like mid this week, you'll see the event up. So it'll be the Queer as Fuck cabaret show. And that should be right at the end of the month. So I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be really dope.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think I went to New London's Pride before, and
I don't think they're doing it this year because I haven't seen anything about it.
Did you ever get a table there? Like, did you ever do like a table there for like the past?
I didn't do a table there. I know Erica performed like the last 2 years. But I haven't had a table there yet. So maybe next year.
Mm-hmm. Is that the one that had like the craziness with the parking? Like you got to pay mad money for parking?
I don't think. Oh, maybe. Was it at Ocean Beach?
Yeah, it was at Ocean Beach.
That's crazy that they would charge people for parking. I don't know because I actually live right next to Ocean Beach, so I just walk over there. But it's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah. That's what I was like. Why? Like arm and a leg just to get there.
Just to get there. And I'm like, how are you going to have a public event like that and then charging parking like that? At least that much. Like, first of all, it should have just been free. If you know you're going to have this Pride Festival there, like inside the beach. Yeah. But then, or at the very least, make it like cheaper, like $5, you know, for the car. But yeah, that's the car is priority. Right. Not per person, not each person in the car.
God, I have so much stories about freaking New London before I met y'all. I gotta tell you some shit.
I'm about to say, you're gonna have to tell me these. You're gonna have to tell me these soon.
Oh man, because I'm just thinking about it right now, but that's another time. But, but thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna have next time, if there will be next time, I have some more questions and stuff. Like we got.
Always let me know.
She's an advocate for LGBTQ rights. She's everything. She's dope. Like there's mad shit we can talk about.
Okay.
I'm trying to find a freaking co-host, by the way, if you know anyone.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. I did see that post again today. So yeah, I'll keep that in mind and try and send somebody your way if they're interested.
Yeah, if they're interested in stuff, you know, trying to like get it to the point where I'm looking for some grants right now. Well, let's see the grants.
Okay. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions on that too. Have you done any before?
I did partial for the nonprofit job, but that's not my forte. So I'm just like helping out. But that's all I really know. Really.
Okay. And if I see some, I'll definitely send some along your way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that would be dope.
Anytime.
I'm like, how people finding all these things? Like,
yeah.
All right. Well, Juanita, you have a good night.
Thank you. You
not
too.
night yet, but good day. And
yeah, I might go try and spend a little hour or two at the beach. So.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know how to swim, but
I don't either. I'm just gonna dip my legs in and then go sit back down.
All right. Have a good one. See you.
I'll see you. Bye.
Collectively transforming community. Peace in our human family. Volume in unity. Divine light shining individually. Collectively transforming community. Peace in our human family.
One love, one growth, as above, so below. Feel the pain in my soul, the red pill dissolved. Organized, no matter the cost. Politicians start wars, they don't fight, they sit in the pause. And nothing lasts